Resistance is futile.
Boldly going where no show has gone before. This is The Week in Geek with David D. Squared and Brian Held. Heard live on News Talk 99.5 WRNO and the iHeartRadio app. Here are your hosts, Brian Held and D. Squared.
Greetings, people of Earth. This is The Week in Geek, your source for geek and pop culture news that's trending now. I'm your host, D Squared, along with
Brian Held.
How are you, buckaroo?
Man, I'm really excited, Dave, because Derek Donovan, who is a friend of the show, reached out to me and asked me to do some voiceover.
Talked about this last week.
Did we? No, we didn't.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you did, but okay.
No,
continue.
because I released it this week.
Yeah,
when I
talked
announced
about it. All right, but continue. Talk again.
Regardless, his Kickstarter is now live for Trigger Mortis. It's a hardback, a comic book that he's doing. And if you are interested in hearing that trailer and seeing the project he's working on, just go check out Kickstarter Derek Donovan, Trigger Mortis. And he will actually be in studio next week, not only to talk about that, but he's going to San Diego Comic-Con this week.
Shut the front door.
Yeah, so he's going to come give us the skinny.
Well, good. There we go.
All right.
Well, I was helping the community all weekend, Brian, doing continuing coverage right here on News Talk 99.5 WRNO for Hurricane Barry.
Yes.
It was a hurricane for what, about 4 hours maybe?
Something like that, yeah.
But, dude, it was brutal, man. But also, I got to be on the radio in London and in Canada because of the Washington Post and their sensationalism story. They honestly thought we were all dying and flooding and being carried away down the Mississippi River.
Well, I'm glad you were able to set the record straight, Dave.
I
That's
did.
awesome.
I put the WAPO in its place. All right, so let's lay what?
Well, I'm just going to say that, honestly, even though we lucked out.
We did. We really did. Some people did get hammered.
They did. So, it's not a reason not to be concerned for the next storm and act appropriately.
And those people in Mobile.
Yeah. Anyway, let's lay out the show. You ready?
Yes, we'll start off with top nerd news, followed by Skungy and his pick of the week, and then we have a very special guest, Brian.
Yeah, so I met Miss Fenway Jones at MomoCon here recently, and we brought her on to talk about her event and organization called Jasper's Game Day. Cool. It's a charitable organization. And then we'll close out the show as we always do with This Week in Geek History.
But first... And now, your top nerd news stories from around the world, brought to you by the Viridian Tea Company. Find them on Etsy. And now, your top nerd news stories. All right, Brian, what's topping us off tonight?
Well, you sent me some links to look over, and this first one here, Star Wars The Mandalorian, reportedly cost $15 million per episode.
That is, that's nice, man. I mean, apparently they are committed. I mean, and I was thinking about it later after I'd sent you the article about Jon Favreau, how, he had sent them some scripts. They're already committed to season 2.
Yes.
I mean, he's already working on scripts for that. But then I started thinking, really, Jon Favreau is what you could call him almost the father of the Marvel universe right now, because he's the one who really made Iron Man what it was. And if that was a stinker or a dud or a clunker, the Marvel Cinematic Universe probably would have died in its infancy.
Well, and what's really cool is the fact that he is a fan. Right?
Yes. Oh, my God.
And you're right. He wrote the first 4 episodes of this series before he was even hired to do the work, just to be like, can this work out? Can I do this? And send it into him. Like, here's my idea. Yeah. And they moved forward with it. I think it's going to be great. I'm really excited about this.
And what's interesting, it's almost on par with a lot about how they were spending money for Game of Thrones. There's only 8 episodes, which does kind of bum me out. I mean, but I guess if it's like an hour a piece, I mean, that's what, almost like 3 Star Wars movies.
Excluding marketing and other undisclosed fees, we're talking $120 million to produce this 8-episode season. Oh, yeah.
That's a lot of scratch.
Yeah, it is. But, I think it shows that they're very committed to this, and they're going to do a really good job. What's funny, though, if you think about that number, $120 million is sort of an average for a 2.5 hour movie or whatever it is, right?
That, yeah.
This is 8 hours.
True.
So where's that disparity? Like, I
don't know. That's an interesting question. I guess because the small screen, the pay scale's smaller. I mean, do you use less people? I mean,
I don't know.
I mean, I guess also in small screen stuff, you don't have to use the big names. That's where you can really kind of start cultivating new talent, like a farm team almost,
right.
Because you don't have to pay somebody like a Tom Cruise or a big name in those small screen things. You can, especially with Star Wars, because if you're starting something new, you almost kind of don't want somebody that's got a lot of baggage or I guess, like a trail behind them that you can be like, all right, that you would pigeonhole them as an actor when they walk out as the Mandalorian. You want somebody who's new, who you just have no connection with except for whatever this new project is.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that's a weird thought, but I think that's what it is.
Well, and talking about season 2, I think it's cool. They're in pre-production for it.
Yeah.
And one of the things that's really nifty is that they're using VR technology to visualize all the sets and how it's going to be shot, getting everything laid out. Mm-hmm. And they're using the Epic game engine to do some of the real-time in-camera visual effects. Yeah, so there's a lot of, green screen work that they're doing so that they can, but they're using the game engine to lay in the backgrounds. That's cool. It is. It's very nifty. All the stuff that they're. Yes.
I think it's nifty. You're using the word nifty.
Well,
speaking of Star Wars, though, I got a tweet or something over the week about Star Wars in Disney World and Disneyland.
The Galaxy's Edge.
Galaxy's Edge is what I'm looking for. That new ride, the Rise of the Resistance, it's going to open up in Florida first, in Orlando, and then open up in California. Because remember, there's only the one ride currently in Galaxy's Edge in
California.
In Disneyland.
Land, yes.
And because they felt it didn't meet those. I guess criteria they were talking about, but now it's going to open up first in Disneyland. So
Disney World.
Yeah, Disney World. I don't know. I never go to California. I always go to Florida.
Right.
It's too far.
Okay, that's cool.
Okay, sorry. Squirrel. All right, what's next?
So reports have come in that the actress from Captain Marvel, Lashana Lynch, is rumored to take the mantle of 007 in Bond 25. And she did great in Captain Marvel.
I have yet to see Captain Marvel, so this show is a sham.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, no, it's interesting, too, because she's a British actor, and she plays a character who's from Louisiana.
Oh, okay.
Her last name's...
Boudreaux?
No, it's...
Thibodeau?
Rambeau or something like that. It's
Rambo.
Not Rambo.
Well, all right, before people get their panties in a twist, let's us explain that apparently Bond is still Bond, but when they call for 007, she walks in because he's retired on a beach in the Bahamas somewhere, so they gave her his old designation.
Right.
But there are going to be some people already, I'm sure there is out there, I didn't even bother to look because I have enough faith in the dehumanity of Twitter and the internet that they're already lambasting this, but I mean, almost that's kind of a good segue, though, for them, where it's like, it's still just a number. It's a designation. It's just that 007 is the coolest designation that we've always known. But if he's retired, they're not going to retire the number. It's not like a jersey number, like we're going to retire number 9 when Drew Brees hangs it up.
Right. Absolutely. I mean, in this situation, you have agents coming in and out of the roles as they get killed in action.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, how many like 003s? A bunch of them got killed at some point. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. But James Bond is always James Bond.
Right.
So...
and also, now this is something new, though. This is the movie has said that they no longer want to be called Bond girls.
The Bond women now.
Bond women.
Yes, that's the...
Isn't that really the same thing? It's I mean, it still equally means the same thing. It's Bond's babes. I mean, that's what's happening here.
The term, I can see the term girl being demeaning, as in they're childlike.
Okay, but if you put Bond women, they're still objectified, so who wins there?
Well,
no one, Brian. No one wins.
Fair.
So we should just call them co-stars, all right?
Okay.
I'm tired of all these stupid monikers, Brian.
Look, all
They're
right.
weighing me down.
Real quick.
They hurt my soul.
Lashana Lynch's character in Captain Marvel was Maria Rambeau. That's Rambeau. So,
where's the X?
Well, it's not
There's
Cajun.
supposed to be an X.
It's French, but it's not Cajun.
All right, I'll tell them where to go. GEAUX.
Right.
Right up the,
Oh, jeez, Dave. But
Rambo without an X. What the hell's wrong with this world? Don't they know how we roll down here?
No, they don't. Are you kidding me?
Now, this is interesting.
What's that?
That Warner Brothers reportedly unhappy with Birds of Prey and that it may be another Justice League. That is low praise.
Well, here's what's weird is that Ewan McGregor is attached. He's playing the Black Mask in this.
Okay.
And that their test audiences that have been watching it have been happy with what they've seen. They've enjoyed the performance, and the corporate suits are like, yeah, it's not good enough. We got to get in there and tweak it. And it's like, yeah, that's what happened with Justice League.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's basically what's going on here.
So the fans like it. It's just that Warner Brothers, the suits are just like, oh, this isn't good enough. This isn't the high standards that Warner Brother has for Justice League and DC Universe.
Apparently. And
I'm sure they talk like that.
Well, and Margot Robbie is still very much involved in this. She's a producer. And she's got big plans for
Can't she
Harley
take
Quinn.
a baseball bat to the Warner Brothers suits?
She might need to in this instance. I mean, clearly we saw what happened in previous outings for the DC universe.
At first when I first saw this, the Birds of Prey, I got it mistaken for the WB when it said WB reportedly. I thought it was the new Batwoman series. Have you seen like the full trailer for it now? It's almost it's almost like the first episode they show you in the trailer how she comes in and Batman's been MIA and she apparently finds the Batcave and is just like, yeah, we're gonna have to change a few things. I don't know. I'm kind of interested in this one now.
Okay, is that a TV series or a movie?
Yeah, it's gonna be on the It's gonna be on the CW.
Gotcha.
And so like when I saw the WB, I just stopped. I thought of the frog. Hello, my honey. Hello.
Right.
Sorry.
But no, maybe I don't know. Maybe the execs from Warner Brothers and the execs from Paramount and CBS all like hang out in the same country club.
They must.
And just trade the same bad ideas between themselves.
Like, you know what we need in the third act? A spider.
A giant spider.
I don't know. I mean.
Do you know spiders are the most dangerous creatures in the insect kingdom?
They are. They are. Look, I don't know. I think at some point they need to just get out of their own way and maybe let the creators create as opposed to thinking that they hold the keys to the kingdom. I know it's their money and they want to, invest wisely. But at some point, why don't they just kind of just trust the creative people that they've hired to do these shows? I don't know.
I don't know either. But, making these movies by committee clearly isn't working, and they haven't figured that out yet.
Is this for Don Cooper?
What's
where
that?
Avengers Endgame is still shy of beating Avatar? Poor Don Cooper. He must be crying in his beer right now.
It's only $7.1 million shy of beating Avatar.
Right, and they won't get it.
Hold on. They took in another $2 million over this past weekend. So we're almost there, Dave. I think it's going to happen.
It's not happening.
It's only been out like 12, 13 weeks.
I know, but nobody cares.
What do you mean
they
nobody
want to watch
cares?
Spider-Man.
Well, they do.
They want to watch Mysterio.
Spider-Man's #1 at the box office right now.
Of course it is, because it's better than Avengers Endgame. The re-release. And it's better than Avatar.
Now you're just talking all kind of insanity.
I've been awake for a whole weekend, all right?
No, I get it. And, of course, Comic-Con International in San Diego begins this Thursday, so we're going to try to cover as much as we can, get links out on things that we find.
Maybe that's why Warner Brothers is so in everybody's business right now with Birds of Prey, because they don't have a panel to prepare for in San Diego.
They don't?
I thought they didn't. I thought they pulled out.
I don't know.
Or was it Marvel? No, Marvel's got a panel. Like DC or somebody doesn't have a panel in San Diego.
I'll have to look it up, Dave.
Skungy might know.
Yeah, he might.
He's on
let's see. What else do we have to talk about?
The Flintstones? Meet the Flintstones?
Well, yeah, I found that article. It kind of makes me sad.
It's Elizabeth Banks. She did Pitch Perfect. If she could do Pitch Perfect, she could do the Flintstones.
New Flintstones series in the works from Warner Brothers Animation, Elizabeth Banks, Brownstone Productions. So
I love Elizabeth Banks. Don't judge me. And I love Pitch Perfect.
That's fine, but why? Why do we need this, man? This was based off of like The Honeymooners and, sitcoms from the 60s.
Right.
I mean,
we're getting back to our American roots, Brian. Americana, apple pie, baseball.
Oh, geez.
We need to bring everybody away from their smartphones and off those social media and bring them back home where they can feel the love and warmth of Americana and apple pie.
There's no radiant glow of warmth from a CRT monitor anymore, Dave. They're all, OLEDs, and it's not the same experience.
Why are you reciting the alphabet to me? I'm confused.
Talking about flat screens, Dave.
Oh, right, okay.
We don't have those, radiation emitters that we used to have in our living rooms.
Now, if this show is done right, its warmth will connect with the viewers.
Oh, is that so?
They will feel the touch of the Flintstones' love.
Well, who knows
the
what the
modern Stone Age family.
Yes. Well, apparently they're in the works to produce something.
Well, good for them. That makes me very happy.
Oh, no. I don't even want to see it. And speaking of terrible ideas in the works, Space Invaders on New Line Launchpad, Mortal Kombat's Greg Russo to script Alien Invasion picture. So
is this like Pixels or something?
It'll probably end up being like Pixels.
Like Space Invaders, the movie.
Right.
The 8-bit god-awful Atari game that we all thought was really super cool because that was all we had.
From 1978, yes. And
are they going to make a story behind it as to why all the little invaders look different, as to what those 3 planetary shields were? I mean, what are those going to turn into 3? What? Watch, I have the plot right now.
Okay.
Those 3 shields will become like superhumans that will defend us, defend the planet like Captain Planet. And they will defend us with heart and earth and water. Something like that. But I guarantee you, watch those 3 shields be like the shields of humanity. They'll be actual people. I bet my left nut.
Oh, jeez. Dave, you got to quit giving out your ideas over the air. People are writing this stuff down, know.
Nobody's writing my ideas. They know what's good for them.
Just trying to throw you a bone there, Dave. So it sounds terrible. It's probably going to end up like Battleship or...
Oh, my God. Why would you bring that up? That was a travesty of a movie.
Now, Dwayne Johnson probably was the only thing that saved Rampage. Did you see Rampage?
Yeah, Rampage wasn't as terrible as I thought it would be. And Jumanji was a huge hit. I loved Jumanji.
Yeah, but
really loved
Jumanji wasn't based off of an existing video game.
Well, that's true.
Exactly. And it was based off of a board game.
Right. A board game that didn't actually exist.
Exactly. So that was a good movie.
That was.
All this other stuff is terrible. It needed to stop.
You tell him. You tell him, Steve John.
All right, guys. Stay tuned. When we get back, we're going to have our boy Skungy and his pick of the week. You're listening to The Week in Geek on News Talk 99.5 WRNO.
Black Tie Tans, the premier mobile spray tanning professionals of New Orleans. Black Tie Tans will come to you and give you a natural glistening glow on the go. First-time customers get 20% off their first tan. Find them on Facebook at Black Tie Tans or email them at blacktieTans@gmail.com to set your appointment. Going to a wedding? Going out to the club? Black Tie Tans will give you the look you need. Black Tie Tans. Tell your pale friends.
Friends, is your morning tea just not your cup of tea? Then try the tea blends of Viridian Tea Company. At Viridian Tea Company, they sell blends guaranteed to make you think outside the box. With such blends as Tea of the Necropolis, Quantum Mechanics, Spider Witch, and many more, your tea experience will be out of this world. Look for the blends at W&Q's Mid-City Bookshop, located at 631 North Carrollton, or on Etsy at Viridian Tea Company. Try Viridian Tea Company today. Your taste buds will thank you.
You've waited for it, and now it's here. Get your very own Week in Geek Radio Show t-shirt and help support our show. These 100% cotton black t-shirts with the Week in Geek Radio Show logo are going fast. So don't wait. Go to twigradio.com and order your shirt now. Just go to twigradio.com and get your very own Week in Geek Radio Show t-shirt. $15 up to XL, $17 for 2X and 3X. That's twigradio.com.
Jezebel Johnston, Devil's Handmaid by Nancy Hansen, is now an audiobook read for you by Brian Held. It's a tale of a young girl from Tortuga who disguises herself as a boy and bluffs her way onto a pirate ship, chasing after her one true love, only to find adventure on the high seas. Jezebel Johnston, Devil's Handmaid is available on Amazon, Audible, and iTunes. Get your copy of Jezebel Johnston today.
Welcome back to The Week in Geek. Don't forget, you can listen to previous episodes on the iHeartRadio app at The Week in Geek Radio Show. Here are your hosts, D Squared and Brian Held.
Welcome back into The Week in Geek. I'm your host, D Squared, along with
Brian Held.
Oh, Brian, guess what time it is?
The best time of the show?
I am not what you would call a handsome man.
Skungy's Pick of the Week is brought to you by GameStop and ThinkGeek.com.
Skungy's Pick of the Week.
He might be an idiot savant.
Woohoo!
Skungy, what's shaking, bacon?
Not much. I'm hearing y'all talking about, like, Space Invaders movie.
Uh-huh.
If it's anything like Pixels, I'm just going to burn a theater down. I mean, because I have no faith in what that movie is going to be. All right?
Does Russo
I'm just
have
gonna say
any
that-
contact with Adam Sandler?
Well,
I mean,
just real quick, I just want to say that, that the opinions of one Skungy Scontrino are his and do not reflect any arsonist tendencies toward theaters in the general
oh,
vicinity.
no, I'm with him. I'll help him buy the gas.
Oh,
Yeah, exactly. Because, I mean, there's no reason for a Space Invaders movie. What is it? It's just a guy moving at the bottom of the screen shooting at ships. How can you make a 2-hour movie off of that?
Well, it's 90 minutes is the minimum, so it'll probably be like 89.
Oh, 89.
I've seen 89 minutes.
You were talking about Jumanji. Yes, Jumanji was good, and believe it or not, they're actually making a video game based off of that movie.
Really?
Wow.
Huh.
Yeah, because the latest Jumanji movie was based off of a video game. They went into a video game.
Yeah, right.
So
Well,
I think
two-
that I have kind of hopes for, but we'll have to see.
Yeah,
And-
well, 2 looks like it's going to be, it's like, oh no, it's glitching, So I like this, man.
Yes. All right, so what are we talking about today, Skungy?
So we're dipping into the vault a little bit today because in August they're going to have Bards Tale 4 coming out.
Okay.
From our friends over at Inexile, right?
From our friends over at Inexile. So they made a game that right now it was made on the PlayStation 2 and original Xbox, but right now it's available on your PC if you want. But on the PlayStation 4, The Bards Tale is what it was called.
Okay.
Now, The Bard's Tale is an action, I would say a dungeon crawl, kind of along the lines of Diablo type game.
What was the one that the Dread Pirate Roberts voiced it for?
This is the one that
Okay.
the Dread Pirate Roberts, Carrie Ellis,
Yeah.
voiced. This is one of the best action-adventure story games I've ever played in my life.
I remember. That was my favorite too. I forgot which one it was, but now I know.
So forgive me, but the tagline for this game is "A Quest for Coin and Cleavage."
Yes.
That's a great tagline. That's like my life.
If anybody has played, everybody's played like tabletop D&D or whatnot. We all know what the Bard is actually up to,
Mm-hmm.
Right.
and they portray it truly in this game. All he cares about is getting money and sleeping with women. That's all he cares about.
All right.
Now, the
I'm biting
game
my tongue.
is hysterical. It is absolutely downright Fallout funny because it takes all those tropes that you know from D&D video games and it calls them out on it. So, for instance, when he goes into the inn and he walks into a room and he opens up a chest, the narrator will sit there and go, and the Bard is stealing from these people.
Nice.
Then the Bard will sit there and talk to the narrator. There's so much fourth wall breaking in this game, it's not funny. He will talk to the narrator and justify why he is taking those items.
Cool.
That's like Link running around breaking all the pots. It's like,
Yeah.
why are you breaking all of our pots?
Exactly. You start breaking stuff. It's one of the funniest things I ever saw you're in a forest and you're fighting a wolf. And you kill the wolf, and a ring drops out of the wolf. And the narrator is like, and a ring drops? Why did you get a ring from a wolf? And then the Bard says, one time I killed a rat, and a full set of armor dropped out.
Nice.
So it honestly, truthfully and honestly, the humor is like on point. It's got, like I said, it's very Diablo-esque, where you're going through and you're dungeon crawling, going through levels and beating these enemies and whatnot. And it's a single-player game. Now, how you get through that is that the Bard can summon these entities to help them. Sometimes it's like a rat or an electric spider or a barbarian or an archer to help you go through. Depending on what level you're going through and what enemies you're fighting is what companion you're going to choose.
Okay.
And as you go through the game, you get more and more of those.
Cool.
And so it is you get a moralistic choice when you're playing the game as well. So you can talk to people, and as you talk to them, you can be, very nice and heroic, or you can be sarcastic.
So, the guy, as you mentioned before, is on a quest for coin and cleavage, and not in any way, shape, or form noble pursuits. But I mean, there's a story here. There's a larger narrative, right?
Yeah, there's a huge narrative to it, but it's a very huge narrative, and it's a very long. It's not like 40 hours of gameplay, but I mean, it's good 20 hours of gameplay. So it's got a very decent story, and it plays out depending on how the bard goes through the game. You can, you'll have different stories if he's like nice, or if he wants to be your traditional coin and cleavage bard, will have a completely different story than the nice guy.
Wow. So it sounds like there's a lot of opportunity for replay.
Yeah, there's a lot of opportunity for replay, and this was actually one of the last projects.
If you're being true to yourself, Brian. All right, if I'm being true to myself, I'm going to be in it for coin and cleavage. I'm not going to go back and play Brian Held the Paladin. I'm not doing that.
You don't want to.
There's no replayability there. That's suckability. I'm not doing that.
Oh, jeez.
Sorry, squirrel.
All right.
Well, hey, look, it's true. You play the game the way you want to play it. And
Damn right.
This particular game was one of the last projects of the late, great Tony Jay. Tony Jay was an actor and voice actor. Most people would know him. He was the voice of Judge Furlow in Hunchback of Notre Dame from Disney, which was one of the best Disney villains of all time. He's got a very distinct voice, and he's the narrator, and he talks throughout the entire game, making fun of you and judging you on every choice that you make.
Nice. Now, so this was what, 2004 when it came out?
Yeah, it was like 2004 that it came out.
So how is like the gameplay? Does it hold up, or is it really just a fun romp to just go back and experience the story again?
Romp.
Yes.
It actually holds up pretty well to today's standards,
Okay.
Because you got to remember, today you have your AAA titles, but we're kind of in a renaissance of the video game era. With so many digital releases, you've got hundreds, maybe even thousands of games that are getting released that feel more retro-style gameplay. They don't have that big AAA release like a Grand Theft Auto or Spider-Man or God of War, but they feel like the games that you played 15 years ago.
Right. No, and I could totally see that. There's a lot of those 8-bit, 16-bit games that they're releasing for stuff that has that retro feel, and they're brand new. I get it. Okay.
Yeah, and this one,
everything old is new again.
Very, very, very well. In fact, the reason why I'm reviewing it, other than the 4 that's going to be coming out,
I still have the
very
disc
soon,
of the original.
I love the original. The original was more of your old school text-based, going down a corridor and fighting enemies, turn-based.
Okay,
style.
not that one.
This
The
one's
PlayStation
a lot different
first.
from that one.
Yeah. Okay.
This one is going to. The reason why is because it's actually been put up on the PlayStation Store again recently.
Ah, but what if I don't have a PlayStation, Skungy? You're not helping me.
I know, but you can. If it's the only time I would say get a dirty PC.
Shut your mouth.
But if you go on eBay, you can get it dirt cheap on eBay as well. It's not that expensive. It's like $5 on eBay for an original Xbox copy.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah, it's dirt cheap for that. But if you have a PlayStation 4, I bought it recently, even though I do own it on my original Xbox. I bought it recently because it was $5.
So you just got $5 to throw away. I could borrow $5. Can I have $5, Skungy?
I'll give you $5 to play this game. I'll give anybody $5 to play this game because it's.
Don't say that. Take that back. Take that back right now. Skungy does not mean that.
I'm taking it back. Not for the audience. Not for the audience. The crew of the show.
Man,
that was close.
All right, so
I need sleep.
Clearly, you do. All right, so you pretty much revealed all the platforms. Xbox, well, not Xbox, PlayStation or PC that you can get this. I'm assuming PC is a Steam download, probably.
Yeah, PC is a Steam download, but it was originally available on the PlayStation 2 and the original Xbox, and it's not that rare of a game. It's not that hard of a game to find. I've looked it up on eBay. It is like $5 on eBay to get a copy of it. But for $5 to play this game, it is so much fun. If you're a fan of D&D and just basically RPGs in general. It makes fun of every single cliche in the genre, and in good taste too. It's not in poor taste. It's not in bad. It's well acted. Terry Ellis does a fantastic job as playing the Bard. It is just a delight of a game that, unfortunately, a lot of people did not play when it came out, because around that time of original Xbox and PlayStation 2, there were so many games coming out. There's so many good games that got lost in the shuffle.
I still have the clearance sticker on my original PlayStation version for like $4.99.
Wow.
Yeah, because I mean, nobody cared.
Yeah.
But it was a fun ass game.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Skungy, I'm not going to fire you today. I'm too tired to fire you.
Oh, my God. I'm so happy now. Cubs win, and I don't get fired. It's a good day.
Oh, well, okay. I didn't know the Cubs won. All right, good on you. All right, well, now I'm definitely not firing you.
All right.
But go away.
What are you bringing us next week, Skungy?
Well, next week, I'm not sure yet, because once again, we're kind of in that dead zone. So
Okay.
I have to do some digging to try to figure out what we're going to bring. But I think I originally said I was going to do Marvel Ultimate Alliance. I was a little bit wrong because it wasn't out yet.
All right.
It should be out this week, so I should be able to review that next week.
All right. We'll put some overtime in on that research, Skungy.
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, it's not like, there was a storm that made me...
Oh, my God. Listen. All
right.
You know what I hear? Excuses.
All right. That's enough, Skungy. All right, guys. Stay tuned. When we get back, we're going to have our interview with Fenway Jones talking about Jasper's Game Day. Stay tuned. You're listening to The Week in Geek on News Talk 99.5 WRNO.
ProSe Productions is a leading independent publisher on the cutting edge of new pulp and genre fiction today. At ProSe Productions, you'll find fiction featuring fast-paced action and adventure, larger-than-life protagonists, over-the-top characters, and tight yet extravagant plots. ProSe specializes in prose books, anthologies, audiobooks, and more. Go to prose-press.com to find our monthly release schedule and more info about our great titles. ProSe Productions is your first-rate publisher of new pulp fiction today.
Jezebel Johnston, Devil's Handmaid by Nancy Hansen, is now an audiobook read for you by Brian Held. It's a tale of a young girl from Tortuga who disguises herself as a boy and bluffs her way onto a pirate ship, chasing after her one true love, only to find adventure on the high seas. Jezebel Johnston, Devil's Handmaid is available on Amazon, Audible, and iTunes. Get your copy of Jezebel Johnston today.
Friends, is your morning tea just not your cup of tea? Then try the tea blends of Viridian Tea Company. At Viridian Tea Company, they sell blends guaranteed to make you think outside the box. With such blends as Tea of the Necropolis, Quantum Mechanics, Spider Witch, and many more, your tea experience will be out of this world. Look for the blends at Tubby & Coo's Mid-City Bookshop, located at 631 North Carrollton, or on Etsy at Viridian Tea Company. Try Viridian Tea Company today. Your taste buds will thank you.
You've waited for it, and now it's here. Get your very own Week in Geek Radio Show t-shirt and help support our show. These 100% cotton black t-shirts with the Week in Geek Radio Show logo are going fast. So don't wait. Go to twigradio.com and order your shirt now. Just go to twigradio.com and get your very own Week in Geek Radio Show t-shirt. $15 up to XL, $17 for 2X and 3X. That's twigradio.com.
This is Captain Rex, troopers, and you're listening to The Week in Geek. Now move out!
This is Brian Held with the Week in Geek Radio Show on News Talk 99.5 WRNO. And tonight we're joined by a very special guest, Miss Fenway Jones. How are you?
Fantastic. How are you?
I'm great. So before we dig in and you know why you're here, I'm guessing your parents are Red Sox fans?
They absolutely are.
All right, cool. Tell me about that real quick.
I mean, I was named after Fenway Park. My dad grew up watching the Red Sox, and we have family out in Boston.
All right, that's cool. Fair enough. All right, now the thing that we're here to talk about today is Jasper's Game Day, and of course, we met you at MomoCon in Atlanta. That was here recently, and you were set up at a little table, and you were promoting this event, but it's also an organization. So tell me about the event that you started this with.
So Jasper's Game Day, it is an organization and an event. We raise money for teen suicide prevention and awareness through different types of gaming. And I started this because I lost 2 friends to suicides within the span of 10 months. And I wanted to be able to use the pain I was feeling from that to create hope and happiness for other people.
Right.
And so I created this, and so one of the friends that I lost was my gaming partner in crime, and his name was Jasper. So this is kind of, he's the namesake of this event. So we do different game days all across the nation, and then we go to different places that choose us to be their charity, and we go there and promote and raise money, and then all of the money that we raise goes to local crisis centers to wherever it's being raised at. So when we were at MomoCon, all of the money that we raised at MomoCon goes to a local Atlanta crisis center.
You know, and I think that's incredible that, you know, you can kind of turn on a dime with what you're doing. You know, normally when you're talking about something that has a national focus, it usually goes to a larger organization, but you're instead focusing on the local areas wherever you end up promoting, right?
Yeah. So we do work with the American Association of Suicidology, and I am on their youth board, and so they partner us with the local crisis centers. So all of the crisis centers that we work with are like a subset of the American Association of Suicidology. Like, they became part of their group or whatever. So we work with them to find the crisis centers, but all of the money goes to local people.
No, I think that's great. Now, you said something very important, that you're part of the youth board of this national organization. So tell me, how old are you?
I am 16.
And I think that's incredible that such a young lady has so much focus and organization to put all this together. Now, your dad helped you get this started, right?
Yes, my dad helped me get it started, and then also my mentor, Satine Phoenix, helped me get like the more national reach, and helped me get contacts in Wizards of the Coast. So,
and you bring up a good point. So, I'm guessing your first event, you decided to do something to raise funds in an immediate sense, but you're telling me that Wizards of the Coast gave you encouragement to keep this going?
Yeah, Wizards of the Coast gave us some donations for our first event because I reached out to them, and then we are actually partnered with them as well for our now being a national organization.
Okay. And what particular games do you focus on when you're running these events?
We usually focus on role-playing games, so our largest game that we focus on is Dungeons & Dragons, because that's what my dad and I play, and that's what we know the best. But we also have people that help us in Pathfinder and all different other sorts of role-playing games, and then we have people doing some video game streams and things of that nature.
Okay. Now, do you think that there's any possibility that a role-playing game like Dungeons & Dragons could be used for individuals who are suffering from depression in order to find an outlet for expression and community?
Absolutely. I think it already is happening. I think it allows people to explore who they are and who they can be without judgment, and you have the ability to show either yourself or your personality or just the character's personality, so they don't have to feel like they're like they don't have to hide who they are, but they can also be more comfortable in the personality of their character. And it's a game that you don't play online usually, so you see people face to face and you have that in real life connection with your party.
Right. No, that's perfect. Now, you're an organization, you exist, you do functions all year round, but is there a particular day that Jasper's Game Day is on?
Yeah. So we have what we called our main game day. And this past year, it was May 11th. And so we raised that day. So we are based in Michigan. And our main store in Michigan, we raised $12,000 this year. And then we had 7 other stores involved in the main game day across the U.S. So that was the games going on all over the place the entire day. And then there were two of the stores decided to make it a whole week long. They donated part of their profits from that week to us as well.
Wow. So if there was a game store owner listening right now, how would they go about having a Jasper's Game Day event at their store that they can contribute to?
So we have a thing on our website that you can click, and it says for stores, and the game stores can sign up to be contacted by me to talk about what the necessary steps are to creating a Jasper's Game Day and how they would go about doing that. And then we do help them out with the adventures, and if they need something, then we can send them some shirts and some bracelets and stuff like that. And it's on our website, which is jaspersgameday.com.
Perfect. So before the interview, we were talking a little bit, and you've got some big plans for this next Jasper's Game Day. Why don't you tell folks out there what it is?
Yes. So this upcoming Jasper's Game Day, we are looking to make it for the main game day next year. We're looking to make it have 5 or 6 main stores and have different main game days, quote unquote, at each location. So there are key points in the U.S. that people can reach. So we'll have one in Michigan. We're looking to have one in Seattle. We're going to be in Phoenix, L.A., so there's some different locations we're looking to for that.
Awesome. Well, maybe we can get some shops from the Gulf Coast in on that action, too. How would that sound?
That would be perfect.
Nice. All right, well, we are getting kind of close to a commercial break, so we mentioned jaspersgameday.com as the main website for your organization. What about social media? Are you out there as well?
Yes. So I am the Fenway, the Teen DM on Twitter. And then on Facebook, we're just Jasper's Game Day. And we post on there, on Facebook quite often, and on Twitter even more often about different events that are going to be happening, and just updates in the Jasper's Game Day world.
And I noticed that you had some merchandise on your website. I'm guessing that goes to donations to suicide prevention, right?
Yeah. So everything that we get online goes to different crisis centers, and our main thing is the shirts. We have Jasper's Game Day shirts, and so that's our main merchandise thing on our website.
Well, Fenway, I really appreciate you taking the time to come on the show tonight. I think you have an incredible mission. Thanks so much. We'll talk to you again soon.
All right, thank you.
Guys, stay tuned. When we get back, we're going to close out the show as we always do with This Week in Geek History. Stay tuned. You're listening to The Week in Geek on News Talk 99.5 WRNO.
Is your morning tea just not your cup of tea? Then try the tea blends of Viridian Tea Company. At Viridian Tea Company, they sell blends guaranteed to make you think outside the box. With such blends as Tea of the Necropolis, Quantum Mechanics, Spider Witch, and many more, your tea experience will be out of this world. Look for the blends at Tubby & Coo's Mid-City Bookshop, located at 631 North Carrollton, or on Etsy at Viridian Tea Company. Try Viridian Tea Company today. Your taste buds will thank you. Mata Hari, Agent H-21 is a spy fiction short story anthology about the famous dancer, seductress, and spy from World War I. Mata Hari, Agent H-21, published by Pro Se Productions, has 7 rip-roaring adventure tales about the world-famous super spy that features her battling her enemies by using any weapons at her disposal. Mata Hari, Agent H-21 is available for purchase in ebook and paperback formats on Amazon.com.
You've waited for it, and now it's here. Get your very own Week in Geek Radio Show t-shirt and help support our show. These 100% cotton black t-shirts with the Week in Geek Radio Show logo are going fast. So don't wait. Go to twigradio.com and order your shirt now. Just go to twigradio.com and get your very own Week in Geek Radio Show t-shirt. $15 up to XL, $17 for 2X and 3X. That's twigradio.com.
Jezebel Johnston, Devil's Handmaid by Nancy Hansen, is now an audiobook read for you by Brian Held. It's a tale of a young girl from Tortuga who disguises herself as a boy and bluffs her way onto a pirate ship, chasing after her one true love, only to find adventure on the high seas. Jezebel Johnston, Devil's Handmaid is available on Amazon, Audible, and iTunes. Get your copy of Jezebel Johnston today.
Hello, this is Chris Walken. If you've got a hankering for more cowbell, you can get it on The Week in Geek. Come on.
Welcome back into The Week in Geek, your source for geek and pop culture news that's trending now. I'm your host, D Squared, along with
Brian Held.
Now, as always, we want to strongly urge you to check out the Facebook page, facebook.com/The Week in Geek. Check out our website at twigradio.com. Follow us on Twitter at twigradio and the Instagrams, The Week in Geek. Now, Brian, how can people listen to this lovely show?
Well, if you missed any part of tonight's show or you want to catch your favorite part again, you can always find us on Spreaker.com or download Spreaker for your smartphone or tablet. We're also on iTunes, YouTube, Google Play, Stitcher, Spotify, the iHeartRadio app,
and your mama's house.
All right.
I was about to hit the button.
I know, exactly. That's why I was snobbing you. I have a quick announcement. So, a friend of the show and inker, John Dell, is listening to us right now.
Oh, cool.
Yes, and I'm sure he's working on comics as we speak. And he wanted me to let folks know that next Saturday, July 20th, he's going to be out at Port City Comics. That's in Tillman's Corner, Alabama. And he's going to be signing Spider-Man Life Story number 5. So if you'd like to meet John Dell and say hi and go, a little road trip. It's only 2 hours up the road.
And didn't you go out and see our guest from a couple of weeks ago with Teen Titans Raven?
Oh, yeah. We did that on Tuesday. Cami Garcia, Gabriel Piccolo, and Elise Arden were at the Garden District Bookshop to do a signing. And, Katie and I went out there. We got signed copies of the books. We got to say hi, take some pictures. It was awesome to meet him in person.
It was a high old time.
It was.
But now...
This week in Geek History.
We're sending you back to the future!
Yes! Oh my God!
This week in Geek History is brought to you by Jezebel Johnston, Devil's Handmaid by Nancy Hansen, read by Brian Held. Available on Amazon, Audible, and iTunes. This week in Geek History.
Yes! Oh my gosh!
Ba-na-na, ba-na-na. Wow.
All right, this is going to be a fun one, Dave. First one on my list, yes, July 8th, 1947. This is just very apropos of something that's happening right now. Okay. Roswell Army Field issues a press release stating that a crashed flying disc near Roswell, New Mexico has been recovered.
Are you talking about the Facebook post? About
yes. Over 500,000 people who have committed to going to Area 51 and storm the place because, quote, they can't stop us all? Yes.
Well, because, quote, and it's funny, the Area 51 can use deadly force.
Yes.
They have really, very rarely used it. They typically just arrest you and find the loving snot out of you. But they can use deadly force. Imagine if, let's just say half of that shows up. 250,000 people show up and storm it. we'd probably be looking at about at least 100,000 dead. They would just open up. They'd be like, we're being invaded.
Well, and the Air Force actually has issued an official statement.
Oh, really?
Yes, that, we will protect and defend this installation, from whatever happens.
So just drop a cluster bomb and it's a cluster what.
Right. So, yeah. But now the guy who originally created the event apparently has come out and said that it's all a prank, but we know how these things go. So
right. Maybe it's a casting call for Space Invaders. Maybe that's what it is.
Maybe it's a dry run for the Space Force.
Space Force.
Right. All right. Next item on my list. July 9th, 1982. Sees the release of the arcade game Tron by Bally Manufacturing. So
that was a fun game. That was really because there was so many games in one. I mean, I really liked the bike game. Where you put the little laser
light cycles.
Bikes. Yeah, dude, that was fun. The tanks were fun.
Right,
and then there was I didn't like the stupid rainbow Tetris kind of it wasn't Tetris, but
that was the MCP. You had to take out the shield.
Yeah, that one was kind of lame. But it was cool because it had the little roller. I mean, it had like joystick and rollers. I mean, it was a fun game.
What was the other? There was another one.
There was another one. I can't
with the
remember
grid spiders that you had to shoot.
Maybe so. Yeah, that sounds familiar. Yeah.
So
but, yeah, no, the light cycles and the tanks. Those are the two best ones. Those were fun.
Oh yeah, no, and they had different versions too. There was one you could sit down in, or just
did
this.
They?
Yeah, they did. They had different versions.
I still love the original Star Wars that you could sit down in with the fight, take on the Death Star, and you're shooting TIE fighters. And it was what? Just black and green?
Yeah, the green vector image.
Damn,
yeah.
it was fun, though.
It was. All right, next item on my list. You've got to guess this one. All right, July 10th, 1981. Starring Kurt Russell, Lee Van Cleef, Ernest Borgnine, and Isaac Hayes.
Oh, that's Escape from New York.
There you go. John
Isaac
Carpenter's
Hayes.
Escape from New York. There you go. I figured that one would give it to you.
Yes. Oh God, what was the quote? Oh my God, when he shoots Isaac Hayes, who's the man now, or something like that. I forgot what the quote was. Damn it.
Yeah.
All
That's
right.
all good. All right. Next time on my list is kind of fun. July 11th, 1976. K&E, or Kuffel and Esser Company, is a U.S. manufacturer of slide rules. Produces its very last slide rule and presents it to the Smithsonian Institution. They started in 1891.
Wow.
But, of course, calculators made slide rules obsolete.
Why?
Well, because...
But slide rules are more engaging.
Yeah, no.
They're full of hope and love and joy and... Okay, never mind.
No, because everything's now more efficient. You've got a scientific calculator on your smartphone.
Everywhere.
You don't need the pocket protector anymore for the slide rule. So
fine, whatever.
There you go. All right, next item on my list, July 12th, 1990. Nintendo releases Final Fantasy for the Nintendo Entertainment System in the United States.
That was a good. Yeah. That was a fun one.
All right, last one you got to guess. July 14th, 2000. This movie starring Patrick Stewart, Halle Berry, Sir Ian McKellen, and
X-Men.
Hugh Jackman. Yeah, there you go. Bryan Singer's X-Men. All right, birthdays real quick. On the 8th, Jaden Smith.
Hey.
On the 9th, Fred Savage.
Dude, he's got a new TV show. Like everything old is new again.
Let's see. On the 10th, Isabella Moner. She was in Transformers the last night.
Oh.
Yeah.
I barely remember that movie.
On the 11th, Mindy Sterling, who was Frau Farbisianov in...
Frabruka!
Yes.
Frabruka!
Yes. She's also in Con Man.
Yeah.
So, on the 12th, Michelle Rodriguez, and on the 13th, Sir Patrick Stewart.
I didn't know who Michelle Rodriguez was until like Resident Evil.
Yeah. Right?
Resident Evil.
Yeah.
Resident Evil.
Right. So our guest next week, as I mentioned earlier in the show, is Mr. Derek Donovan. He is a comic book artist for Marvel, Image, and DC, and he's going to be talking about his new project, Trigger Mortis, and giving us the recap from San Diego Comic-Con.
You're the Duke! You're the Duke! A number one! That's what he said. That's what the president said.
Nice.
Till next time, keep your nerd flag raised high.
GFL.
Space Force.
That's News Talk 99.5 WRNO FM New Orleans, anywhere on our free iHeartRadio app.